Irish Guy, and this is the Prem catch-up, looking at all the Premier League results that happened at the weekend. But hang on, because this week, there's so many games. This month is going to be such a collection of results, predictions, results, to such a point that by the end of December, by New Year's Day, I'm going to look like I've just spent a week living in an oven. But lads, this week, I went head-to-head with the man, the myth, the haircut, FNG. And we both had pretty excellent weeks, gobbling up points as if they were wine gums. FNG got 57 points, but me, I got 63.
Everybody dance!
But yeah, FNG has done well to squeak his way into second in the list. Second! And people say we have the bald knowledge of yogurt. And lads, there is actually light at the end of the tunnel. It is actually possible for somebody to catch Anfield Agenda at the top. So please, everyone, don't be daunted by Anfield Agenda. Don't look at him as if he's Thanos himself. That reference is for the geeks out there who use their mum's underpants to brush their teeth. But go on then, let's crack on and see what happened in the Premier League this week. Right, let's go. Liverpool 2, Man City 0. Liverpool have won the Premier League on the 1st of December. That sounds weird. How can anyone possibly declare someone a Premier League champion 4 weeks before Christmas? I mean, lads, Santa Claus is still sitting on his couch, being nagged by his wife to stop eating the reindeer poo for lunch. And yet apparently this whole thing has been sewn up and decided. Well, yes, because we've been here before. I remember when Liverpool beat Man City to move 8 points clear of them in November 2019, and I was in denial. No chance were the Reds going to keep that world-class form up. They would soon be caught. I mean, come on, this is Liverpool, a club who'd never won the Premier League before, and yet they were now going to win it easily? No. But yeah, they did. They kept winning and winning and winning. And yeah, I know it is 5 years later and they have a new manager, but lads, Liverpool's 5 biggest players are the same. Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Robertson and Salah. Those mentality monsters still remain. So yeah, you just know they're not slipping up now. They are absolutely not letting Man City make up 11 points on them. Liverpool are going to win the league, and I find this also weird. Jurgen Klopp, one of the greatest managers of the 21st century, he toiled and toiled and was only able to win 1 league title in 9 years. But Slot, he's going to do this in his debut season in English football. If you just delete Chelsea as a club, because to be fair, their newbie bosses had a knack for this, but if you ignore Chelsea, then Manuel Pellegrini is the only other manager to win the Premier League title in his first ever season in England. And even then he had to rely on a Stephen G. slip. So this is incredible work from Slot. But as for City, I feel sad for Pep. This is now 4 Premier League defeats in a row. 4. We've now even got Pep giving it back to the Liverpool fans in the most Jose way ever. The fans are singing,
"You're getting sacked in the morning."
And he holds up 6 fingers to demonstrate how many titles he's won. This is actually the combination of 2 iconically defined Mourinho moments from 2 different eras. Like when he shushed the Liverpool fans when Chelsea equalised in a League Cup final back in 2005. Weirdly, when Gerrard scored an own goal. And the next was when he was the Man United boss and stormed out of a press conference demanding respect from the journalists.
I won more Premier League titles alone than the other 19 managers together. 3 for me, 2 for them. Respect! Respect!
Yeah, this was Pep combining those 2 iconic moments to, yes, have a go at Liverpool fans whilst telling everyone how many Premier League titles he's won. Honestly, Pep and Jose, they're not as different as everyone thinks. This was goody two-shoes Pep finally being possessed by the dark side. It was like watching Todd Flanders headbutt a granny. But make no mistake, this Man City team is finished. Come on, their world-class goalkeeper has been dropped. Kyle Walker soon turns 35, and he's playing like a burnt-out donkey. Their midfield can no longer run, and I think re-signing Ilkay Gundogan from Barcelona was such a pointless deal. He's nearly in his 40s. He was allowed to leave for a reason. This would be like Pep choosing to bring back a chubby Aguero, who's not allowed by doctors to run. Kevin De Bruyne is finished as a world-class player. Both Jack Grealish and Savinho are flops, and arguably Jeremy Doku too. A wonderful dribbler, sure, but he's got the end product of cat vomit. This whole City team needs to refresh a revamp. They remind me of the City team in 2015. But for any of the things that Man City now won't make the top 4, don't make me laugh. Sure, Arsenal and Chelsea look good right now, but so? There's still room for City in the top 4. Like, who exactly do you think is going to nick 4th from them and relegate them to Europa League football? What? Brighton and Hove Albion? Nottingham Forest? Spurs? Maybe a shout for Brentford too? Or a rejuvenated Man United? If any of those clubs pit Man City to the top 4 this season, then I will go to a local swimming pool and drink all the water. Wolves 2, Bournemouth 4. Oh, lads. Play the clip.
I'll go for a comprehensive 3-1 Bournemouth win. But no, I am sniffing an Ivan Nielsen hat-trick.
I can't tell you how cross I feel right now. Right now I feel like ripping out my spleen and feeding it to a cat. Because lads, seeing Bournemouth players scoring Premier League hat-tricks is such a rare sight. It's only happened 4 times in the past. And they've been in the top flight for close to 10 years. I mean, there'd only been 1 Bournemouth hat-trick score since 2017. And that was Dominic Solanke against Nottingham Forest last Christmas. So, me saying that Evie Nielsen would score 3 was such a bonkers out there prediction. And he should have scored 3. Lads, I noticed a few weeks back that I was always tipping Justin Kluivert to score each week. And I'm not sure why, because I don't think he's a particularly special player or anything. In fact, I'm beginning to think that he took his talent from his mum, because his dad was a truly world-class striker at Barcelona. Although a bit of a burnt-out potato waffle by the time he got to Newcastle. I said Evie Nielsen would have bagged 3. And he should have, because lads, I mean, I don't think players should look smug about taking on the max ball if 2 of their 3 goals were penalties. I mean, I think if 66% of your hat-trick is because you've been given a chance to score unopposed from 12 yards, something a 10-year-old could do, then it's the fakest hat-trick in the world. It's as much a hat-trick as I am a Chinese housewife. But 3 for all 3 of your hat-trick goals to have been penalties? No! It's like acing your maths quiz at school when the teacher's got all the answers written on the blackboard. Don't you dare put that up on the fridge. No. Kluivert is just taking over the match ball, strutting around like he's heir to the throne of Gondor when he's been presented with the biggest ever tapping of a treble. He has just become the first man in Premier League history to net 3 penalties in the same match. But why did he take them? Evie Nielsen won all the penalties. The Brazilian striker was fouled for all 3. Why is he not the designated penalty taker anymore? I mean, he was the penalty taker at Porto and scored 7. The only reason he's off duty at the Cherries is because Robert Sanchez saved one of his for Chelsea 2 months ago. So that's the only reason. We have Sanchez to blame for robbing me of a viral moment. Honestly, right now, I feel like some weird detective trying to get to the bottom of this. But yeah, do you know how much of a genius I would have looked if Evie Nielsen had scored a hat-trick on Saturday? But no, he had it stolen by Kluivert. And I feel like the footballing overlords are just mocking me. I mean, come on, Kluivert's initials literally spell out JK. I mean, come on, this guy is such an inexperienced penalty taker. Before Saturday, his most recent penalty was in December 2016 for Ajax under-21s against Cambuur. And guess what? He missed, having a save from Harm Zijnstra. Anyone remember him? No, he looks like a librarian was fired for eating slugs. I'm sorry, I know I sound saltier than Finding Nemo's diet, but come on. Why wasn't Evie Nielsen allowed to take the pens? Brentford 4, Leicester 1. Of all the permanent Premier League managers of all time, Ruud van Nistelrooy might just be the best striker to have ever managed in the And you know what? His whole management career feels so random, because usually when world-class players go into coaching, they do it straight away, but Van Nistelrooy, he retired at Malaga in 2012 and then didn't take his first proper coaching job until 2021. 9 years later at PSV. What was he doing for that middle decade? Ex-players usually dedicate themselves to management within months of retiring after they get bored of spending Saturday afternoon buying cat food with their wives. Honestly, there's probably no more depressing sight than watching a former Ballon d'Or contender now reading a magazine on a sofa in River Island whilst his wife tries on boots. But for this, right, the man turns 50 years old at the end of next season. He's only slightly younger than Ten Hag. What has he been doing? This man is only starting his managerial career when he's what, 10 years off 60? Like, genuinely, between the years of 2012 and 2021, what was he doing? Part of me thinks this whole thing is just a revenge mission. Because when he was out in the wilderness, watching Jamie Vardy steal the proudest record of this man's life, scoring in 12 successive Premier League matches, I mean, did Ruud over a pint agreed to engage in coaching? So only because he knew that one day he would get to work with Vardy on a training pitch, and now that he's up close, he's gonna poison him by squirting a syringe of dog pee into his morning coffee. Honestly, I am suspicious of this man's motives, purely because he disappeared for years. So seeing him in Premier League management now, it's been like getting Brendan Fraser pop back up in cinemas as the whale. Like, where have you been? But look, this would have been a rotten afternoon for him. Purge should understand that Brentford, watching his new defense, get absolutely eaten alive by Kevin Schade. I mean, let me ask you a question. Are you scared of Kevin Schade? A talented 23-year-old German winger, yes. Like, he's got the usual goal threat of a slice of cheese. If I'm a Premier League defender, I'm sooner going to be spooked by the creepy monkey off the Cocoa Puffs box than I am this pot noodle winger. And yet, here he was helping himself to the first hat-trick of his life. And I have to say, are we totally sure that Ruud is not actually a bad luck charm for Leicester? I mean, so far, the guy's been in the stadium for 3 Leicester City matches this season. I mean, whilst he's been lurking here looking like Sea Biscuit in a turtleneck, he has seen Leicester concede 12 times. 12! If I'm a Leicester fan, seeing him anywhere near these games is probably a bit like seeing someone in a scream mask hiding behind your car. I mean, even in this man's last game against Leicester as a player, He netted a hat-trick. So let me get this straight. In the last 4 Leicester games he's been at, he has seen them concede 16, including 3 that he scored himself. Ozzy, Van Nistelrooy has a huge job in his hands at Leicester now, but I'm beginning to think that he's only there to get revenge on Vardy. Ozzy, don't let Rude step into your home, Jamie, or he'll probably convince your wife to grow a beard. Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. Oh, lads, play the clip.
It's a rogue one. I'm going for an Nkunku goal in this one. The obvious option is one of Jackson or Palmer, but we don't do obvious options around here.
Well, I am. I'm saying 3-0 Chelsea win. Nicholas Jackson with 2, Cole Palmer with 1. Yeah, it's obvious, but so, I want some points on the board.
Oh, this was such a glorious prediction. And yes, a beautiful Chelsea win. Things are absolutely clicking for this team, who I said would finish 15th. Yeah, 15th. But as for Villa and Unai Emery, I'm just going to say this, okay? Steven Gerrard lost his Villa job after 1 win in 9 Premier League matches. That round, by the way, still included a match where they took points off Man City. Yeah, people massively forget that. But Stevie G's 6th last game as a Premier League manager, he was taking a point of Pep Guardiola. Not bad at all. Unai Emery has now got 1 win in 8 Premier League matches. If Villa failed to beat Brentford on Wednesday, then Emery will have equaled Gerrard's horror run, which brought about his sack. This is almost crisis territory, and nobody seems to have noticed. I'm sorry, lads, but for one of the best managers in the world to be copying Gerrard's form from 2022, someone whose biggest problem these days is trying to work out how to scrape camel poo off his wife's handbag, then I'm going to be honest. This looks bad for Emery. Crystal Palace 0, Newcastle 1. Oh, lads. In my Premier League prediction series, this, so far, was the biggest point swing moment of the season. Because, lads, you get 10 points if you get a correct scoreline bang on, right? Well, I predicted a 1-0 Newcastle win. FNG predicted a 1-1 draw. And so in the final minute, with the Magpies 1-0 up, Palace score. In that moment, I'm guessing that FNG fully started twerking on his couch, although he was probably mindful of not getting his pesky earring trapped in the overhead fan. Otherwise, he'd soon be having to explain to his gran over Christmas dinner why he's now got worse hearing than her. This goal was a 20-point swing between us, literally robbing 10 points from me and giving it to him. Honestly, lads, watching Newcastle play football these days is a bit like watching a couple of goats eating flowers. It's not the most thrilling watch. West Ham 2, Arsenal 5. Julian Lopetegui is gone. Lopetegui is getting the sack because the Hammers' form has been atrocious. I mean, lads, Arsenal travelled to West Ham earlier this year and won 6-0. This was a game where the West Ham players had to wrestle back some pride in this fixture. No, instead they go 4-0 down in the first half. Sure, they squeaked it back to 4-2, and some Arsenal fans would have been suddenly blinded by their Czech Teodi trauma from 14 years ago. But no, the Gunners then get a penalty when old Arsenal goalie Lucas Fabianski punches Gabriel in the face. And so yeah, 5-2 at half-time. At half-time! Lads, I feel like anyone who missed the first half and only tuned into the second half to see more goals, they were absolutely scammed. Lads, if the second half was as nutty as the first, then this would have been a 10-4 Arsenal win. Something you used to see back in the 1910s, when all the players probably smoked and ate cheeseburgers for lunch. But no, 7 goals in the first half and 0 in the second. This feels a bit like sticking on the latest Michael Bay film. Oh, it's all action, explosions, and kissing in the first half, but in the second half of the movie, you're literally just watching the main character sew a button back onto his jumper for 45 minutes. But yes, amazing win for Arsenal, but Lopetegui, he has to go. And the Hammers should absolutely resist the urge to go English with a Graham Potter pick. I think West Ham's answer is staring at them in the face. And I'll give you a hint. The man has coached at West Ham before. No, it's not David Moyes. It's Erdin Terzic. Yeah, this guy, someone who just managed Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final. He was Slaven Bilic's assistant at West Ham back in 2017. Go get him. Man United 4, Everton 0. Play the clip.
Everton haven't scored many recently. I'm saying a goal for Fernandes, a goal for Garnacho. I'm even going to do a bit of charity work as well here. A goal for both Rasmus Højlund and for Joshua Zirkzee. I know, genuinely incredible.
So FNG successfully managed to predict Manchester United's first 4-0 win since thumping Norwich in January 2020. Niran, well done. I was fully expecting this prediction to absolutely crash and burn. I thought this was strange. That maybe the fibers in his busted knee were now affecting his brain. But to be fair, Ruben Amorim's boys absolutely turned on the smoke and ate the toffees for tea. Lads, even Joshua Zirkzee scored. Twice! Wow. Tottenham 1, Fulham 1. Brennan Johnson has 10 goals in 20 matches this season. What is going on? Don't forget, when this Welsh winger began the season, most Spurs fans were comparing him to a walking carrot. And yet this Welshman has utterly exploded in front of goal to such an extent that his Nottingham born and bred man is probably slightly regretting his switch from England to Wales in 2018. But then again, on second thoughts, Jamie Bino Gittins is literally ripping up the Champions League and the Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund on that left wing. And so far, the English FA have acknowledged his existence, even less than acknowledged by former channels. But otherwise, brilliant result for Fulham after the captain Tom Kenny comes on as a sub, flashes in a brilliant equaliser and then gets himself sent off. You know what's really strange? This was Kearney's first Premier League goal away from home since March 2010 when he scored for Hull at Goodison Park. That is 14 years and 269 days between the away goals, breaking the previous longest record, which was Cristiano Ronaldo when he went 12 years and 235 days. But that man literally spent those 12 years living in Spain and Italy. What's Tom's excuse? Brighton won, Southampton won. Play the clip.
Southampton will be lucky to get 6 points come the end of the season, as in like finish on 6 points.
Yeah, Southampton now just need one more point to get 6. And they were actually incredibly lucky to have Cameron Archer's winning goal chalked off for a harsh offside. Southampton are not as bad as people think. Nottingham Forest 1, Ipswich 0. 1-0 Wood. The 3 most boring syllables in the English football language. Boring! Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this game week? Congratulations, Liverpool. You're gonna win it. That's the end of it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.